what's up? It is Thursday evening, which means it's Master Chat night. Hopefully you were with us on Twitter and Master Chat, and you know why we're here. If not, here we are. I'm Jeff with Teach Better Team. I have our guest moderator, Brianna Shaner, with us, and we just finished up Master Chat like 3 minutes ago. You were super quick getting over here, which is great. Great chat, good topic. I think a lot of people needed this tonight, these kind of conversations around this. How are you feeling right now after the chat? You feeling pretty good? Or?
Yeah, no, I think this chat was exactly what I needed. Exactly what I needed.
Good. What's up, Lindsay? I see Lindsay chiming in. If you're watching with us right now, drop us a line, say hello, let us know where you're watching at. We got Nikki there. Lindsay and Nikki are both on Facebook. Hans Apple's with us. He's over on Twitter right now. Hi, Nikki. Good to see you. So everyone's chiming in here. So we got more people coming in here. Let's keep saying hi. Amanda's here. Hi, Amanda. Adam's on. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. We have people chiming in from all over. Bringing as everyone's jumping in, and I'm going to keep saying hi to people and stuff. Van's here. Megan Wells is here. All kinds of folks jumping in. I like it. That means people were in the chat and are excited to hear more. So before we go further, like I know a lot of people are probably already connected with you, especially if they're in a chat now. They're definitely connected with you, at least on Twitter, but they might not know much about you. So can you give us just the breakdown of who you are, you know, what your role in education is, where you're at, all that type of stuff?
Sure. So my name is Brianna Shaner. I am a 5th grade math and science teacher in Cincinnati, Ohio. I am a mom to 3 little kids, so my time is split between being a teacher and being a mom.
Yes.
Oh, and I'm a Teach Better ambassador.
I was waiting. I'm like, anything else?
I always forget that when I do lives.
You're also
and everyone's like,
Teach Better ambassador. Yes. Van, good to see you. Maggie, good to see you. Jackie's here. We've got lots of just like awesome chat, great chat, awesome chat, great job. You killed it. I love it. This is great. So tonight's topic was back to school, surviving and thriving in 2020. And you really felt it throughout the whole chat, just that, I mean, people, I think, were with you. Like, they needed this sort of chat on, I think, a few fronts. I think one is to know that they're not alone, right? And
totally.
Which I think we all know, but it helps when you hear it again and again and again, and you see it again and again, right? And I think that was important. But then also there was a lot of conversation around, like, you know, what are you doing, how you do things, stuff like that. So I think that led into a lot of conversations of, you know, what are you getting into? How the one about, you know, what are you doing to take care of yourself was a lot of like, I don't, but then that spurred into little conversations of, hey, here's an idea. What about this? What if we did this? Right. So those were all, I think, good things and important things to have there. So I love asking our moderators, when you were putting together the questions, what was going through your head? What were you thinking about when you came up with the topic and then the ideas of the questions? What were you hoping that people were going to take away from the chat tonight?
So we, at my school, we're in person 5 days a week.
Okay.
And we've been back for a month now. So I think at the beginning stages, you get into this, oh my goodness, how on earth am I ever going to do all of this? And so I actually signed up to do Master Chat this summer when I had all this free time. So I had all these like grand ideas of things I was going to do and questions I was going to ask. And honestly, at this point, I need to be reminded that my PLN is in the same boat that I'm in, that I'm not the only one rowing this boat, that I have people out there that have ideas, and I want to make sure that other people know that they have that kind of ability to reach out to other educators, and that there's so many people that your answer to your question is out there somewhere. And so I think that's really my goal for tonight, was to not so much focus on the heaviness of what this year is and all the stuff that we are going through as educators, and just to provide resources and connect people who may have the answer to your question.
So do you feel like do you think you accomplished it, that we get there tonight with the chat based on what you can see? I love chat because you never see all, right? You never see all the comments and all that stuff, but do you feel like we got there?
I think so. I mean, I've been typing since like 8 o'clock, so my fingers are a little sore, but I got that from this. So I'm hoping other people did too. Yeah.
If you're watching right now, let us know. Drop in the comments. Did you get that? Did you take away some positives from the chat tonight? If you did, what was it? What did you take away? What did you get? Hopefully, I'm hoping that it wasn't just you. I hope everyone else did it too.
I'm hoping too.
So let me ask you: were there any? And I don't expect you to pull like the exact quote or the person necessarily because it's hard to remember sometimes. But were there any like answers to questions or maybe like conversations that you saw going, or any theme sort of feeling throughout the night that maybe surprised you or got you excited or shocked you even or anything like that? Like anything that stands out, types of tweets is what I'm looking for.
I think the biggest theme that I saw was that everyone is struggling with this idea of balance because I think right now everyone is trying to figure out maybe what worked for them in the past doesn't work now. And that word come up over and over, especially when it came to the self-care or even the struggle. I think a lot of people use that word balance. And I always struggle with that word, especially in the stage of life that I am in right now, because the whole idea of balance, I want to be a great educator and I also want to still be a great mom and be able to be here for my family. So I think that word, a lot of people trying to search and find that balance, that definitely surprised me.
Lindsay, good to see you. Carly's here. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm seeing Brianna Shannon rocks. Joe's here. And I think, Maggie's putting a light on there. It was reassuring to see others feeling the same way.
Yes.
Those who are face-to-face struggling with how to instruct still too. So a lot of that balance, and one thing that I always go to when people start talking about balance is I actually try to flip it and talk about harmony.
That's a good point, yeah.
Because if you think about harmony, a song that sounds good, right, in your ears is in perfect balance, but nothing's actually balanced. I think the problem with balance, and I started thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, but the way I talk about harmony, balance is the same thing, because I think so often we think of balance as this. Mm-hmm. But same weight here, 10 pounds here, 10 pounds here. But depending on what is on each thing, like you can have a balance with a lot more here than you have here, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm thinking, I don't know why, like right now my mind's going to like the teeter-totters.
I was just thinking the same thing on the same page.
You grew up faster than everyone on one end. You got three of us on the other end, right? So it's off balance if you think about numbers, but we're balancing the teeter-totter. And like harmony is that way because sometimes in a song, the rhythm section has to take over, and you need that strong bass and that drum. But if you had a drum solo the entire song, it's not a really great song, right? Same where sometimes the guitar needs to come through, sometimes the vocals need to lead. And so I talk about this a lot about like, depending on where you're at in your life and the circumstances that are going on in your world, sometimes you have to go out of balance. But it's about finding the harmony in where you're at. And it's like, okay, well, right now where I'm at, like my career has to have a little bit more right now. It has to lead because I've got to get this figured out. And there's sacrifices that happen. They're just like when the lead guitar takes it, the rhythm guitar, player steps back a little bit, right? And the bass has to go to a more steady beat rather than doing any kind of runs and stuff. So like that's my musical analogy of it. But so I think it's important for us to realize that it's okay to be what we consider to be out of balance, right? As long as we're finding the harmony and getting there. And I think if we think about it like that way, we can maybe beat ourselves up a little less about it.
Yeah.
And then the real harmony is when you get to a point where you can be happy still, even if you're a little out of balance, right? Out of whack.
You can still love the song.
You can still love the song, right? Yeah. So, and I love songs that have wicked bass riffs in them, and I love songs that just because of the way the kick drum or the snare hits, right? And you love that one because of the way the vocal is and stuff. So it's the same thing, right? So I think it's important to look at that and just not beat yourself up. It's okay to be quote unquote out of balance right now. It's okay. Yeah. You need to find your harmony so that you can survive it and get back to whatever your balance is. For me, balance is absolutely never 50-50 because I love what I do and I'm always going to work more. It's just, that's me. That's where I'm happy. My family knows that too. So that's our harmony. But there are times where I have to switch back and my family has to take over and stuff. So I think that's important. We'll get a lot of comments coming. I got to get back to all this stuff. Hold on. Sorry. You're flying through there. All the comments rock, sending all the teachers love. I love it. Brianne's in here now too.
Hi, Brianne.
Chelsea's in here. Look at Chelsea.
Hi, Chelsea.
Alex is in here. Alex, I'm glad you could catch that's why we do these recap, because sometimes if you miss the chat, you come here, you get a feel of it, maybe go back and take a look at the answers and stuff like that. Olivia, I like what you did there. Every time I talk about harmony, it's right forward.
So funny, Olivia.
I love the word blend. No matter what I'm doing each day, see, Lindsay, like, I'm just done. Like, she's just every time I think I say something nice, Lindsay's like, no, this is how it should have been said.
This mic drop right there.
I'm not sure who said, "Whoa, love that, Jeff." Because is that Carly? Carly, thank you, appreciate it. Just looking at, sorry, I'm looking at a screen here that has Facebook. The group because you don't see the names. I like to give everyone props when they're giving us comments and stuff like that. Amanda, appreciate it. Appreciate you, Hans. Teach better equals harmony. I love that. Andrea's in here as well, and you are apparently her hero. Thanks, I don't know how you do it with either. I got 2, and I'm like, that's like 3 too many at this point. Megan, listen to Jeff all teaching and stuff. Yeah, don't get used to it. I appreciate all the comments. I love this, how active it is right now. This is great. Look what you did. Look what you did tonight, Brianna. I love this. So one of the other things I love doing, I think everyone's going to enjoy this too, because they're also big fans of you right now. I love to throw one or two of your own questions at you live here, because I know you already answered it, so you know the answer, but we might not have all see it. Like,
that's fine.
I know for me, like, I love talking to like other people who are in a chat. I used to do this all the time with Tiffany and with Ray and chat stuff. I'd be like, hey, like, did you see this thread? And they're like, no, I didn't even know that person was in the chat. And I'm like, I love it. We're both in the chat, but 2 different experiences.
Yeah.
So we don't always see this, your answers and stuff. So I'm going to throw one at you. I'm going to throw the one that everyone's talking about right now. What are you doing to take care of yourself now that we're back in the school session? So what are you doing?
I know you're going to ask that.
What's the ages of your kids?
So my oldest is 6. My middle is 5. Okay. And then my youngest is 1.
So 1 to 6?
1 to 6, yeah.
So your 2 are in school then, right?
Yeah, well, kindergarten and preschool, and then
kindergarten and preschool. Well, they still have yeah. Are they going to, or are they virtual? What are they? What's the?
Nope, setup? They're coming to. They go to my school, so they.
So gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have that. You get and then you got 3 kids at home. I mean, you obviously have your teaching, and you're trying to figure that all out and everything like that. And then you still find time to do things like run a mastery chat. You blog for us from time to time. You're an ambassador. Like, what are you doing right now, and how much, and maybe what are you doing anything new now that you're back in that maybe you haven't done in the past because of the different scenarios now, or are you just flat out struggling and not doing anything? Like, where are you at as far as self-care? Like, how are you handling it?
If you would have asked me this question maybe last week, my answer would have been, I am on a serious struggle bus. And I'll be honest, like, I definitely would agree that this week I am just starting to get to the point in teaching that I can say, like, okay, this day I'm just going to leave my computer at school. I'm not even going to bring it home. Or I can say that this coming weekend, like, I will not work on anything. The biggest thing that I just did, and I'm really proud of myself because it took a lot, was I took my work email off my phone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it would get to the point where I would get parent emails like Saturday morning. And in my mind, I just feel like I'd have to respond. Like, I couldn't just let it go. And so that was my problem. I'm now getting to the point in the year where I can set those boundaries and not feel like I'm going to miss something really big.
Are you setting times like, oh, these are times I'm going to sit down at my computer now and check it out and stuff? So then you're a little more in there. Yeah. Which, by the way, when you do that, and it's not your phone while you're randomly having dinner or watching the kids, but when you sit down, you're also more present there in the moment to receive whatever the question is, even if it's a really small question, to now you get a small question that maybe could be a 1-sentence answer, and you can answer with multiple sentences because you're also building a relationship at the same time.
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
You can get in and get what needs done versus just stressing out about it. That's a big one. I don't do that. I'll probably never do that. But that's so all right. So that's a big step. That's a big one that I think a lot of people here probably are cringing at the idea of even trying to do that. But
I know it was hard.
Very, very powerful. What else are you doing? Like, what do you do? Do you have any routines that you do normally to try and keep yourself to like your time for when the kids get down for bed and stuff? I mean, I know the 1-year-old probably pops back up in an hour, but
like the biggest thing, my husband and I, we watched a TV show together at night, kind of like our rewind time, just sit down and have that kind of time together. I think the biggest time that I get to relax would be my drive to work. It's about 35, 40 minutes. And so even though I do have the kids in the back of the car, I just turn my music up loud and I sing, and that's my like Zen time before I had the kids in the car when they used to go other places and not to work with me. I'm still trying to keep that alive.
What's the show?
What show?
That you and your husband watch?
We are currently watching Bloodline.
Oh, okay. Is it good? I never seen the one.
It's like, it's intense.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good, like, relaxing show to watch. I actually wouldn't recommend it if that's like your goal, but I really like it.
I just binge watched all of Cobra Kai, both season 1 and 2.
I have not seen that one.
If you are even like a little bit of a fan of the Karate Kid, if you like the Karate Kid movies, it's actually a really well done like series by Netflix. They've actually already done season 3 and 4. They're just not out yet, but I did not think I held off. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it. I really enjoyed it. It was really well done. So, but I'm actually a big William Zabka fan, just from his appearances on How I Met Your Mother. I don't know if you know that show, but anyway, so it was fun, and it's more around him. It's a good show. Anyway, a lot of other people apparently love Bloodline, so maybe I need to look into that. And Andrea, you don't ever have to feel bad for me responding late. I'm making that decision. Like, that's all right. Megan, did you like it? Oh, Hans, I should have known. I don't know why. I just should have known that Hans would have watched that and been a fan of that too. I'm a fan. I'm like, oh man, when's season 3 coming out? They're saying like early 2021. It's already been shot and edited and everything. So anyway, so Mark, you're gonna love it. It's good stuff. Now we're just gonna talk about Cobra Kai the whole time.
I can't help you there.
Let me throw one more at you here. Let me see which one with the. This is. I think I want to do this one to see if we got some people in the comments that can help. Like, what are you still struggling with in regards to this school year? Like, where are your biggest struggles right now? How far in? I came out. You said how many weeks in?
About a month. Yeah,
a month in now. So what are you still struggling with?
So I think there's a few things. I mean, let's be honest. There's lots of things I'm struggling with, but so our school, the plan is that students have the opportunity to remote in during class if they are in quarantine or if they so choose. So like during my class period, I have some kids who Zoom in, and then I have kids that are present in the class. And really, like, I've always said I'm thankful for the grid method, but I like have never been more thankful than this year. Like,
we're hearing a lot of that, by the way, from everyone. So
yeah, if anyone's watching and you're not, I don't know why. Like, please start for your sanity. Like, it really is. All the teachers that I work with, the struggles that they're having. I'm like, well, do I for you?
Ray said the same thing the other day when I talked to him, like how you doing? She's like, well, I'm working on a new grid, so I'm kind of like, putting it up work. And she goes, but I just can't imagine how anyone's teaching effectively without using this. She's like, I don't, and obviously, I mean, she's a little biased, but like the reason she's
a little bit,
but the reason like she really came on board with us, several years ago is because she discovered the grid method through us, and then like, and so anyway, so go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted, but
no, that's fine. No, and so I think like my biggest struggle is one, making sure that the remote students are connected with the in-person students, that they're not like on an island or by themselves. The other thing is technology troubles. Like, I feel like every day there's something going on wrong, where I feel like most of my time is split between my remote students and my in-person students, and trying to manage behaviors with in-person students and make sure that I teach at a private school, so make sure they're getting the education that they're paying for. So I think that's it's going to take time. And I don't know if there's necessarily like a correct answer other than keep doing the asynchronous learning through the grid method, and keep it.
So your kids who Zoom in, is it like a single screen where you can see all of them on, and then they got like a view of you teaching from the top, or are they viewing the whole classroom so they can see everything going on, or how's that? How are you set up?
So we have Swivel. It's like a little robot that you set an iPad.
Oh yeah, yep.
Nice. So we have that, and that's what they view me. And as I walk around, it like follows me. But I also have my computer hooked up to the Zoom account so that I can share my screen. And so they're getting a little bit of both. And I mean, I try to get other students involved, but it's just it's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I can say about it, yeah.
So have you done any of the one of the things that we've seen some teachers doing that had that similar situation is they have like stations set up with a laptop or whatever that's connected to the Zoom, that when it's small group time, they could actually have one or two of the kids from the room sit at a table that happens to have that Zoom, and then they're interacting with those kids. Now, obviously, you got to work out the management side of that with your kids, but there's options there as well that we've seen.
No, and I think
that scribble is nice. That's a nice.
That is really nice. No, and I think what you were talking about brings up the other struggle I'm having, and it's trying to keep the kids safe and distant, and following those protocols of being 6 feet away, but then when they have plexiglass in between them, they can be closer, but you can't have kids switching seats without disinfecting. It's just a lot of the management of the classroom. Because in my class, I'll be honest, most of my students, we sit in the hall. Like, it doesn't really matter what my class looks like because they all, for whatever reason, sitting in the hall is like a really cool thing in 5th grade. And so like if you walk, I don't know, but you walk down the hall and like we have like little dots that are on the floor, and my class is like, my class is like lined up on the dots.
That's good. At least they're sitting on the dots, right? That's a
plus for now. So I just think the management issue, that's where I struggle.
Well, and I think that that logistic. I mean, that and what you're describing is really like the logistical side of the management, not necessarily that type of stuff. But that I think that's tough. And I think that's where a lot of people are really struggling with. It's that side of thing. And so like going back to a lot of people comment about the grid method being a good thing. Like if you have a system in place where the instruction can be taken care of, you can worry about those things a little more until you get your routine for that, right? And so that's really important. So good stuff there. Someone on YouTube's asking us if we read YouTube stream comments when we do. We got one right there. Mr. Observer. Sitting in the hall is still cool for my high schoolers too. I'm telling you, it's the coolest. You're not in class at that time. You're like, oh, I'm on the hallway. I'm like not the same as everyone. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm gonna put up. Well, you actually have it there, so I'm gonna let you go here because I've had you on here for about 20 minutes, and you have 3 kids at home. Appreciate everyone jumping on. All the comments had a lot of love for you, Brianna. If you're not feeling supported right now, I don't know what to do for you at this point. I hope you know that you're supported. They've definitely turned out for the live to share that support. Everyone who jumped in, really appreciate all the comments and the love and the support. The chat was great. It was awesome to see. I think it was, like I said, extremely relevant, extremely needed right now. And I think, based on my involvement at that, everyone got what you got out of it too, and they're feeling that support and stuff. And we saw a lot of people comment here. So awesome job. Really appreciate you. Love having you as an ambassador just in our world. Honored to be connected with you. Appreciate you so much. Everyone watching, appreciate you all. We'll be back next week, same time, 8 o'clock Eastern over on Twitter, and then we'll be here live again then. And until then, we'll see you all just, around Twitter and Facebook and everything else. Appreciate y'all.